What are you doing out here, sir? I am just trying to take my trash out and I am armed, just so you know. So don't try anything or I will shoot.
Sorry man, I was just passing through the alley as a shortcut. I don't have any weapons at all. My name is James Hunt. I am no threat to you at all, man.
You should be more careful, no telling who might be around the corner in this alley. They might have a gun like I do. This world is dangerous. You have to be armed all the time to protect against everyone else with a gun and who is out to get you. I only feel safe when I am armed or when there is another gun around.
I never carry a weapon as I don't feel like everyone is out to get me at all, man. Why do you feel like you need to be armed all the time? The more guns out there, the less safe things are. You and everyone who thinks that you need to be armed all the time are paranoid to the point that you are making the world less safe by having more deadly weapons around for people who might not react in the best interests of protecting people from harm. It's a vicious cycle of violence, all because more people have more access to guns and ammo that they don't stop and think about the consequences of taking someone's life at the pull of a trigger.
It's my right to own a weapon. It's in the Second Amendment, so I have to own one to be more American and to protect myself from other Americans out to get me with their guns that they have the right to own as well. It just makes perfect sense for everyone to have a gun. I mean, the only thing that will stop another person with a gun is if I have a gun.
The right to bear arms that was written about in the Constitution applied to those times alone. There is need to rethink what applies to our current situation, as Britain is not going to invade anytime soon, and the guns they were talking about took a long time to load and fire and reload, that one has time to think about what they are doing. Which isn't the case with high-powered assault rifles that are being allowed to be owned and end up in slaughter after slaughter of innocent unarmed Americans, because a few people think everyone needs to be armed to the teeth. We really need to think about putting a huge tax on ammo, especially if one is buying in bulk, as that may be a sign someone is considering using it for horrific reasons. I like what Chris Rock had to say about making bullets real expensive. I think he had a good vision for putting an end to excessive gun violence in this country.
Making ammo real expensive will mean only the rich can afford to shoot people. Things need to be fair so that all can have access to protection and be able to shoot if necessary.
Guns really don't save lives, as they have taken more lives than they have actually saved. The only case when you need a gun is when there's another gun being used, as the threat of wild animals attacking has truly become less frequent in recent history. The need to protect yourself from nature when you can find ways to avoid animal confrontation unarmed. Besides, I think we need to start thinking about employing more non-lethal weapons and force. People are too quick to pick up a deadly weapon and shoot first rather than ask questions of the situation to see if there's a non-lethal path. People will be less angry and distressed if no one dies from being stunned rather than killed with a bullet. There are countries in this world that don't have the issue of gun violence happening on a constant basis like it is here in America. I guess because people in those countries don't see the need to be armed to the teeth when dealing with their fellow countrymen. People are less likely to act fatally paranoid.
I sleep with a gun under my pillow just in case someone tries to sneak up on me with a gun while I am sleeping.
Isn't that a bit uncomfortable and highly dangerous, as you might set it off accidentally while sleeping, shooting either yourself or if someone is in the bed with you, or even a neighbor, as bullets do go through walls?
I sleep deeper and feel much safer knowing the hard cold steel beneath my head, although extremely uncomfortable it may be. Gives me peace of mind that at least I can defend myself from all those people out to get me in the world.
Personally, I sleep fine without a deadly weapon under my head, as I don't feel that the whole world is out to get me, especially when I am just sleeping in my bed. Break-ins happen in reality, but the likelihood you need a weapon on hand to defend yourself makes the situation even more dangerous, not more safe. Calling the authorities while locking the door or barricading it rather than spending time worrying about arming yourself is a better defense of your life than putting yourself in the situation of confronting the home invader. All the while, home invasion doesn't happen all the time to the same person over and over, at least not usually. That most people are best to invest in home security, as it will save your life more so than having a weapon on hand. There are plenty of people in this world that do not have a weapon or see a need for one. People who think they need to be armed think everyone should be armed, escalating into an arms race where no one is safe.
It's an American tradition to own a weapon.
So is the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not the right to kill, oppress, and the pursuit of a target. There are far better traditions that don't involve putting life and limb in danger. There comes a time when the Wild West attitude toward weapons needs to be put to pasture, so we can move on to much better pursuits in this universe. When kids in schools have to learn how to defend against an active shooter, rather than concentrate on their studies and their young lives, things have gone too far. Taking weapons out of the hands of those who could be a threat to the innocent just trying to live, learn, and love makes more sense than trying to arm everyone against the possibility of an active shooter situation. It will only make it more likely to happen that it becomes all too common, like the Wild West. If a tradition is a threat to people being able to live, it really isn't a tradition worth carrying on with.
Guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Guns kill people regardless of who pulls the trigger because they are designed to kill. Guns have killed and will kill in the future. There's no gun designed to save lives when it is fired at a person. Guns have gone off without someone pulling the trigger, so particularly in that case, guns really do kill people because that is their intended design.
I would like to see you try and take my gun out of my cold dead hands.
The more you cling to your weapon as a way of life, the more likely your hands will be cold and dead sooner rather than later.
You better get moving before I decide to use this gun. Your words seem to be threatening to my beliefs that I might have to defend them with deadly force.
If you shot me, you would be guilty of murder in the first degree. I'm unarmed and I have not threatened you, which will make your situation worse in the eyes of the law. This is a public alleyway. I have every right to walk through unarmed. You do not have a right to threaten people as they come through here. Leave it to people with a gun to think they can dictate how everyone else goes about their lives, because if they disagree you can take their lives as you see fit with a gun. The power you think you have while being armed isn't really power at all, it's weakness and paranoia gone out of control.
I could get away with murder if I tried hard enough. Move along, I don't want to see you in this alleyway again.
I will come through here anytime I want because I will be reporting your threatening attitude and the fact that you are armed to the police and perhaps the FBI, so they know to keep an eye on you. Have a nice day, sir.